Is your child a fast eater? Are you worried that your child eats too fast? In this video, I'm sharing my top tips for helping kids eat more mindfully and slow down their pace of eating at the table so they can recognize their appetite cues. I'm Jill Castle, a pediatric dietitian, and I have helped hundreds of families in my private practice improve their children's health by teaching them positive, essential, healthy habits like mindful eating. I also wrote a book called Kids Thrive at Every Size, which outlines how to build healthy eating habits and gives you the step-by-step process to cultivate them. In this video, you're going to learn why a child eats too fast, the 5 senses of eating, what happens when kids eat too fast, the techniques for slowing down the eating process, and I'm going to take you through a mindful eating exercise. So let's dig in. If you're a parent of a child who eats too fast, you might be feeling very frustrated. You might ask yourself the question, why is my child eating so fast? Well, there's a couple of very good reasons. Number one, hunger. When kids get overly hungry, it's very natural for them to eat as fast as they can. The second big reason is children who are food responsive, which is a genetic appetite trait, have a tendency to eat quickly. Now, this is rooted in their genetics. It's not a bad thing, but we do want to help them slow down their pace of eating. The third reason is that kids have just learned to eat fast. Maybe the whole family eats fast when they sit down at the table. The idea about slowing down the eating is recognizing appetite cues so that kids know when to slow down and actually stop eating based on that sense of satisfaction or fullness. So eating is a complex thing, and it is reliant on 5 different senses. So let's go through those senses. Number 1, seeing. So the appearance of food can make it very enticing, or it can make you not want to eat it. But looking at a food is the first step of being more mindful about eating. The second sense is hearing. What does food sound like when you're eating it? It might be crunchy, it might be slippery, it might be wet. Hearing the sounds of chewing, hearing a food crispy crunch when you break a chip, for example, all feeds into the sensory experience of eating. Number 3, smelling with your nose. Smelling food is a sense that turns on the appetite cues, gets people excited about eating, and adds to the entire experience. The 4th sense is tasting. That's what you do with your tongue in your mouth. So tasting foods like salty foods, sweet foods, foods that have umami, bitter, spicy. These are flavors that tickle the tongue and add to the experience of eating. The 5th sense is touching. What does a food feel like? So it could be hot, it could be cold, it could feel soft, it could feel hard. There are different sensations that happen when we touch food. And again, this feeds into our entire experience of eating. So what happens when kids eat too fast? You guessed it, oftentimes they overeat. They're not pausing, they're not taking the time to engage all 5 of those senses when they are eating. They plow through food so quickly that they tend to overshoot the mark of satisfaction and they get into fullness or even feeling stuffed. So here are some tips and techniques for actually helping your child who eats too fast slow down a bit. Number 1, take a pause. This means pausing between bites. So you take a bite of food, you chew it up, you swallow it, sit back, put your utensils down, put your hands on the table or in your lap, and pause. Pause is a key word because kids understand what pause means. And so encouraging your child to take a pause between bites can be a very positive step forward to slowing down the fast eater. I mentioned utensils down. This is a second powerful tip or technique for your child. Taking a utensil. We'll pretend my pen is a utensil, but after taking a bite of food, putting the utensils down on the table, out of the hands. This forces a child to pause between bites of food. The third tip, take the hands, put them on the table after a bite of food, or put them in your lap. Again, this disengages from the food, the utensils that put the food in your mouth. It allows a pause through just putting the hands on the table. Number 4, engage with conversation around the table. You're not supposed to talk with your mouth full, so encourage your children to chew their food and swallow it before they start talking, but put those hands in the lap, put the fork down, and have a conversation with the person across from you or to your left or to your right. Look people in the eye. This includes or incorporates a natural pause, a natural slowing down of eating. 5, take a drink between bites of food. This will also help your child slow down their eating. Again, we're creating these natural pauses using things at the table to help kids slow down. And the 6th tip is to encourage children to chew food slowly. When they chew slowly, when they engage those 5 senses, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second, they are naturally able to slow down the speed of eating, really engage with their body, be more aware of the cues, the appetite signals in their body so that they can enjoy eating more and avoid overeating. So let's do a mindful eating exercise that you can do on your own or with your child at home. Ideally, you want to have a small chocolate chip, a Hershey Kiss, a Skittle, any type of small piece of candy or even a raisin to do this exercise with. The first step is eat the chocolate chip. We'll use that as our example today. Eat it like you normally would first. Take a drink of water afterwards, clean the palate, then get a second chocolate chip so that you can use this step-by-step exercise. The first thing you want to do with the chocolate chip is just put it in your hand, hold it, and look at it. You're using your eyesight to assess the shape of the chocolate chip, the color, the texture of the outside of the chocolate chip, is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Is there more than one color? Is it all chocolate brown? Or are there white, vanilla chocolate stripes going through it? There's a variety of chocolate chips out there. When you look at this one, holding it in your hand engages the feeling of touch, and then looking at it engages your sense of sight. Next, touch the chocolate. Pick it up in your fingers, turn it around, look at it, notice the shape, touch and feel the texture on the outside. And then the next thing you're going to do is pick up that chocolate chip and hold it beneath your nose so that you can smell it. With each inhalation, sniff or smell the chocolate. Register that in your mind. Notice what might be happening in your mouth and in your stomach as you smell the chocolate chip. The next thing, take the chocolate chip and place it on your lips. Just hold it there so you get the sensation of what it feels like on your lips, and notice how your hand and your arm know exactly what to do, how to get that chocolate chip right up to your lips. Next, go ahead and put it in your mouth and rest it on your tongue. Do not chew it. Just let it sit on your tongue and start to slowly melt. Next is taste. Notice the sensation and the flavor on your tongue as that chocolate chip melts. What's happening in your mouth? It's probably watering. Go ahead and swallow the chocolate chip as it melts. Not the whole chocolate chip. Go ahead and swallow the chocolate that has melted and notice it going down your throat and into your stomach. What does that feel like? That is called following. So following the food down your throat and into your stomach. Noticing the sensation of swallowing, noticing the flavor, noticing what's going on in your body. These are all steps to mindful eating. When we notice all 5 of our senses, sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch, as we're eating, we naturally slow down our eating. And this is a very powerful exercise to do if you have a child who eats too fast. It is a great way to teach your child body sensations, appetite awareness, and help them manage the pace of their eating. I hope you give it a try for yourself, for your family, for your child. That's it for today, folks. I hope you found these tips and techniques for slowing down the child who eats too fast helpful for you. If you want more tips, don't forget to check out my book, Kids Thrive at Every Size, and my website, The Nourished Child, over on thenourishedchild.com. And if you need more personalized help, don't forget to check out my services over on jillcastle.com. You can find all of my information about my private practice and the services I offer to families. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.